my name is Connie Joy and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back. So I am on my way to work again because I work every day, so I thought that I would use this opportunity to film another story time. So today's story time is going to be about the time that my coworker tried to expose my pregnancy on a new job, but I'd only been there for like a month. Back in 2013, I was pregnant with my second son, Joshua, and I had just started a new job at Powerback in Voorhees, New Jersey. Powerback is a short-term subacute rehab, and it had just opened in January of 2013. I worked hard to get to this job. I worked really hard getting into this job. I did have a reference to get to this job. I had already actually worked for Genesis in the past, which was the company that owns Powerback in Voorhees, and there's another location in Morristown. It was really important to me that I got the job because I was pregnant and I was in need of a full-time job with benefits and good pay, and I had been laid off from my previous job. And during that lapse, I got pregnant with my second son. So when I started this new job, I was actually 4 months pregnant. I started this job in March of 2013. And I did not disclose this information upon getting hired because I didn't want them to look at me like a liability. I didn't want them to look at me like, you're not going to even be here, so what's the point of even hiring you? I didn't want it to jeopardize my job, which is understandable because in nursing, they don't care if you quit. There's somebody coming to replace you. I mean, they may not be able to do the job the way that you did it, but nurses come and go. They come and go. I have to say that I haven't felt until recently with the recent companies that I worked with, I never felt valued as a nurse. I don't know, maybe just for me, but sometimes I feel like in nursing, people treat you like your license was given to you like a handout, like they felt bad for you and gave you a nursing license. That's the way people kind of treat you in nursing sometimes. Nursing is ugly. Whichever nurse came up with the saying nurses eat their young was being way too kind. Started this job, didn't tell the job I was pregnant because I wanted to get past my 90-day probation period. The position that I was hired for was called a HUC, which stands for a Health Unit Coordinator. It was the most demeaning job I have ever worked in my entire career as a nurse. I took the job because I needed the money and I needed a job. I needed job security. And basically what they did with that HUC position was they took licensed practical nurses, which is LPNs, and they put them at the nurses station to basically assist the care managers who were RNs. And then for the most part, the staff nurses that were on the floor that did the med passes were RNs. If you got lucky, because there were a few LPNs that got lucky, I want to say there were probably 2 LPNs in total that I know during my work experience at Powerback and Voorhees that were staff nurses that were on the floor passing meds. I'm not gonna sit up here and make sugar. It comes from a level of favoritism. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie about this. The administration believed that LPNs were not skilled enough, they weren't skilled enough to treat patients with the acuity that we had in our beds at our facility. So they gave us this alternative job and paid us $3 less. So it really kind of was a smack in the face to all the skills that you had learned in school. But like I said, I was pregnant. I already had my son Jaden, who was 4. I didn't have a lot of options. This is the job that was that hired me and that took me, because if I went a month more, no one was going to hire me because I was getting big. Now, I didn't have any acquaintances or friendships with any of the staff at the job that I worked at prior to working there. So they didn't know my pre-pregnant body or face at all. You know what I mean? So a lot of people didn't know that I was pregnant because they didn't know me outside of work. They didn't know me prior to this position at my job. Nobody asked me. It wasn't a big deal. However, I actually was showing, but only somebody who knew me would have known that. What I was doing was I was wearing shapewear. I would wear shapewear because I was trying to suck my stomach in as much as I could because I was very bloated during this pregnancy. The first and second trimester of this pregnancy, I was so bloated that but it was all in my stomach. It was not in my face. My face looked my face looked great. It looked like I wasn't pregnant, but I was bloated. So I was wearing shapewear to try to help and suck everything in. But for me at that time, I wanted job security. I wanted a job with longevity. I wanted to stay there. I wanted to build within the company. I wanted to stay there. One day I'm at work and I'm at the nurse's station, and I thought I was well liked at this place, but it wasn't true. I thought I was well liked at this place at that time, but it was just me being naive and oblivious. And now looking back, I know I was not liked at that place. I don't know if it was something about a black, pretty young nurse getting to sit at the nurse's station. Even though I was getting paid $3 less, I got to sit at the nurse's station. I didn't have to break a sweat. I could just, take off orders. I could just call in labs. I could just schedule appointments, answer the phone. I got to not be on my feet for 12 hours like the other nurses that were staff nurses. I got that, but I also took a major pay cut. But at the same exact time, they wouldn't give me the staff position, which is what I actually asked for when I interviewed. And I asked them, well, in the future, if the company decides that LPNs, can maintain these patients and we can care for these patients, if you do feel like that in the future, let me know, because I want that job. I want to have that position. I want to be taken seriously as a nurse. One day I'm at work, minding my own business, and a nurse comes up to me. She's a staff nurse. It was a staff nurse. She worked on the same floor as me. She was beautiful. She had this beautiful chocolate skin. She had pretty hair. She was beautiful. And she looked like she could have been a model, to be honest with you. And she walked up to the nurse's station in front of everybody, and she says, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm just like, oh my God. And I was just like, no. I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. And she was like, are you sure? And I was just like, I'm sure I'm not pregnant. And I'm just sitting here embarrassed. When I go start a new job, I do my homework. I pay attention to everything. This was a well-liked nurse. I saw her with the director of nursing all the time. She was always with the care managers. They all went to lunch together, or they would order food together and things like that. Like, she was a well-liked nurse. When you work at a place and you see other black people and there aren't that many, some people feel as though, oh my God, there's somebody else black. Like, yay, yes. But for me, when I go to a job and I see other black people, they don't always welcome me or even like me, because yet again, it's because you act like a white girl. I am disliked from the moment I open my freaking mouth. And it's from closed-minded people. I want you guys to gather that even though I'm black, and even though I've worked with lots of black people before, I'm not welcomed. But then also there are politics in the facility. It's not a good look for you to talk to certain people. One of the clinical supervisors that I thought was a complete asshole, very bitter, very angry. She told the nurses not to associate themselves with the CNAs because she wanted to keep that separate. She wanted to keep it separate so you could keep the CNAs in line. And I kind of understand that to an extent, but no, not to the point where, what you mean don't associate yourself with the CNA? They people like us. A lot of nurses were CNAs and home health aides and medical assistants before they were nurses. I completely get it, because there are definitely CNAs that get completely out of pocket and think that they're nurses and doctors and have no respect for nurses or doctors. So I can understand that you do want to maintain a level of professionalism, and you do want people to realize and know that you're here at a job doing the job. And do just your job, okay? Don't be going out your scope, because I do understand that. But the notion that she was giving was really like nurses are better than CNAs. But then when you break that down further, it's RNs are better than LPNs, so don't associate yourself. There was a circle that I could not get into. You know what I mean? There was a circle I couldn't get into. And the LPNs that got into that circle, it was because they had things that they could relate with the other RNs with. And I unfortunately wasn't one of those people. This nurse was one of those people. And no matter how nice you are, I almost feel like when you work at a facility, the nicer you are, the more people treat you like I wasn't confrontational. I went to work, I did my job, and I was quiet. Like, I talked to people that came to the nurse's station because my job required me to actually talk, and people like to socialize. But for some weird reason, like, when I would socialize, they made a big, huge deal about it. And I really do think it was because I was that cute ass black nurse that got to have that sit-down job at the nurse's station. I think it really was that. I just don't know what else it was. Like, but keep in mind, I took a major pay cut that I had no choice in, despite my experience in a rehab, actually. Anywho, back to the story. I'm sorry, I keep getting off track. This nurse, she said what you said, asked me was I pregnant, and I told her no. And keep in mind, the nursing station is the hangout place when you're not in your patient's room or in the bistro or in the bathroom, you know what I mean? Like, that's where people hang out, at the nurses station. The CNAs be over there doing their books, the nurses are over doing their whatever it is the nurses be doing, talking to the care manager, talking to the clinical manager, talking to the doctors, the MAs, the PAs. Then she says, I'm gonna go get you a test so you can go into the bathroom and see if you're pregnant or not. And I started having a panic attack because I'm sitting here like, what in the name of God what the hell, what is wrong with people? I'm hoping that she's just, you know, lying, or she's just trying to call my bluff that I am pregnant. Well, about an hour goes by. She comes to the nursing station and she tells the care manager she's taking her break. About 12 minutes later, she walks up to the nursing station and drops a pregnancy test on the nurse's station. Now, if you've ever been at a nursing station, worked at a nursing station, seen a nursing station in a, you know, assisted living facility or rehab, the nursing station is high up and we sit down lower. So everybody could see that test that's standing up because it's high up, and everyone could see that everyone saw that test get dropped on the nursing station. And I look up and I'm just sitting here like, why would you try to expose my pregnancy that you obviously believe I am pregnant? Because you wouldn't be doing all this if you didn't believe that I was pregnant. You're doing all this because you want to expose me, and I just got here on this job. What are you doing this for? I don't even know you. What is your problem? I'm embarrassed as hell. But then at the same exact time, I still wasn't who I am today. I was not the woman that I am today. I didn't have the backbone that I had today. I didn't. Now, because of the dynamics of the job that I was at, and I already knew who was important and who wasn't, I was one of the unimportant people, dispensable people, replaceable people, a joke person. They don't even think you are good enough to do a job besides the job that you're doing at the desk. And I did become complacent at that job, but I was really just working my butt off and doing what they said to do and doing what I needed to do and kissing ass where I needed to kiss ass, because I needed this job because I was pregnant. I was having my second baby and I was still a single parent. Again, I did what I had to do and I needed my job at that time. Like, you know what I mean? Like when your kids rely solely on you, your kids rely solely on you. You have to be responsible and be careful. You know what I mean? And maintain that job. So I knew when this happened, which is what made me feel so crappy. I knew when this happened that if I went to the director, she was going to obviously pull this nurse in and talk to her and make us sit and talk together. And I knew that the bullying and the harassment would actually get worse, because that's straight up harassment. That's straight up harassment. That's not even bullying. That's complete total harassment. But I also didn't want to say anything to the director of nursing because these weren't the terms that I wanted to talk to her about my pregnancy. Mind your damn business. You didn't get me pregnant. You all up in my vagina like your brother was in this thing. Why are you pressed about me and my baby? Why are you pressed about me and my pregnancy? Because you're miserable. It takes a certain level of complete, utter misery, just blatantly miserable with life, hating life altogether, for you to go into a job, your job, embarrass a woman clearly with child, and it's my business, and you took it upon yourself to not only publicly embarrass me, but go spend your own hard-earned money on a pregnancy test for me. But guess what? Pregnant or not, what does it have to do with you? You want to be my baby mom or something? What does it have to do with you? What does my pregnancy, what did it have to do with you? Because that makes no damn sense. No sense at all. None. Like something is mentally wrong with you. You know, obviously, alternatively, if I was going to go to management, go to HR and report the complaint, I would be exposing my pregnancy. So I just really got to know what makes a beautiful black woman. And I mean, she was a very good skilled nurse. She seemed to be a very good skilled nurse. I don't know if she was given the right meds, but she was on her med pass before people were done her med pass. She was at the nursing station just typing away, doing her notes. And when I see women like that, especially black women like that, it inspires me. I admire that and it inspires me. Like, just look at her doing her thing. So when I saw her as a dark-skinned, beautiful chocolate woman, I'm just like, look at her. She's an RN. Not to crap on LPNs, because you guys know I feel we're the bomb too. We are the bomb. We are the bomb, okay? All right, we're the bomb, you guys are the match. Set it off. Anyway, I want to know what causes somebody that looks like so well put together, like they're happy and successful. What would make you go into your job and do all of that to someone you just don't even know? And I know it's probably because you don't know them, so why do you care? But what is wrong with you that you would do that to somebody? What is wrong with you that you would do that? What? Like, there's something deeply psychologically the matter with a person who does that. And it just sickens me the more that people actually, you know, are complicit with that. Now, there are people that saw, and the unfortunate part is because of exactly where we were, they kind of knew, like, I'm not gonna get involved, it's not my business, but also, like, I can't get involved because, like, I don't want her to do some mess like that to me. So I took that test and went into the bathroom and I threw it in the trash can. And I went about my business and act like she never gave it to me. And I stayed out of her way, and eventually she actually ended up leaving the job. She quit. And I was happy when she quit, because I'm just like, thank God. Like, this was the beginning of a very, very hostile work environment. Y'all, do better. Whatever your personal problems are at home and in your own personal life, it got nothing to do with me. Nothing. Do not bring your issues to work and take them out on other people. I'm sorry for how people have treated you in your life, but that got nothing to do with me. Not a damn thing. You could save that. Save it for your therapist. Not for me. Like, go see somebody. There's something wrong with you. And it's so weird and it's sad, because I really do hope that anybody that was there that day, that saw that recalls that, I would really be like so happy to know that somebody was like, yo, that's not even right. Why are you doing that? You're a bit extra. That's a real bit extra. Did your man get her pregnant? That's a real bit extra. Like, have a seat, honey. What's the matter? I'm sorry I got mad. I was just like, yo, people are so weird. But that is the story time that my coworker tried to expose my pregnancy to my job. After that, I told my job. I told my job about my pregnancy like a week later, because I just knew that that girl was out to get me for whatever reason. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I love you guys.